Law enforcement officers are in the business of helping others, but who helps them? Just look at the recent tragedy some had to deal with this week, a murder-suicide in Bolton.
Well, imagine witnessing crime scene after crime scene, dealing with angry citizens every single day, night after night. It really does have to take a toll. News 10's Elisa Streeter joins us now with a special report on changing the culture in law enforcement so that officers with mental health issues after years of stress can get the help they need. Elisa?
Well, Lydia and John, police officers are under fire more than ever before, but they have always lived under incredible pressure, and they have always been trained to rub a little dirt on it and get back in the game.
You're basically Superman. Put this vest on, you put this badge on, and you become Superman. It doesn't happen like that.
Warren County Patrol Officer Jimmy Banish knows that better than anyone. Growing up in a close family of 5 kids, the 3 brothers all went into law enforcement, wearing those badges with such pride. His older brother Joe became a state trooper at the age of 21.
He was just a cop's cop. His people loved him.
And he loved them, rising through the ranks to sergeant and then lieutenant. Joe scored a coveted job at the academy in Albany, where he could shape young troopers.
That's where things fell apart.
That's where depression reared its ugly head, a silent killer, especially in a police culture that discourages any acknowledgement of depression, PTSD, and mental illness.
It's not common that you have another officer come up to you and ask you if you're okay. It's more common for them to treat you like you have the plague.
Jimmy tried desperately to help his big brother, but there was nowhere to turn. And then he got the call.
On April 1st, 2080, he took his life. He came home for lunch and was still in uniform, and he took his life.
His first call was to his mother.
I think Joey just took his life.
Jimmy's unbearable pain would change the course of his life.
At least it's a no-brainer. I mean, we have a young officer who went through tragedy in his own family. He didn't know how to deal with it. He went and got trained, and he wants to pass that on.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
I've got I got that paperwork actually we're looking.
Warren County Sheriff Bud York is allowing what so many others have not, a way for officers to get help confidentially. And Jimmy Banish is now the man to call. Sheriff York gave him a car, a gas card, and the title of Peer Support Coordinator for the county. But the need reaches far beyond county lines.
On his days off, he's driving out to Buffalo, he's driving out to Syracuse, he's driving wherever they ask him to help. And they do ask him because they know how good he is.
I'm dealing with one of our guys today, actually, after this. Heading up to see him.
While Jimmy's mission to save other officers may have begun after his brother died, first he had to save himself. 2 years after Joey's death, Jimmy was working as a Washington County deputy, and he found his life was spiraling out of control.
Still afraid to get the help, still afraid to admit that I needed the help. I did it secretively.
He never told his bosses for fear of losing his job or being ostracized. It wasn't until he got to Warren County that he realized he had a chance to turn the police culture around.
Not everybody has a Jim Banish, you know? Not everybody has that one individual that can make a difference.
How many lives have you saved?
I don't know.
But a lot.
I know it's more than one.
More than one. Jimmy Banish's peer program is a model that is starting to take hold across the state. His hope is that someday no officer will find their answer in the barrel of a gun, but in the compassionate company of a fellow officer just like Jimmy.
Remarkable profile there, Elisa, and I hope his story does get out more.
And great courage to want to talk to Elisa about such personal things.